Hi, how can you best navigate this coming week of September 30th to October 6th? Well, that's what we're going to find out from Spirit through a 3-card tarot reading. Hi, I'm Laura with Heartdriven Tarot, and we're going to look at 3 insights from Spirit, and also with the focus of the overarching theme is passion. Since I selected for the angel card of the week, the passion card from Archangel Haniel. And what Haniel says is trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. That sounds pretty awesome. I've always loved the word passion. It just has an innate energy to it. And it's something I've used, or it's a term I've reflected on many, many times. And the crystal that I selected for this week is called Cyrsocollla. I think that's how you pronounce it. Like crystal is Cyrsocollla. You can see it here. Doesn't that look like, except it's not in the sphere shape, but it looks like a globe, because it indeed, the key word for this Cyrsocollla is Mother Earth. And it says, Cyrsocollla literally is the earth. Just gaze at it to know this. Look at it to feel your connection to self and truth and the natural order of it all. Are you in need of the nurturing of Mother Earth? So that is the core crystal for this week. I've never seen this type of crystal anywhere, but it looks beautiful. And Mother Earth is something I resonate with, especially in light of the recent hurricane. Luckily, we didn't get that in Charleston. We just got a little bit of wind and rain. And ironically, it hit inland in South Carolina, upstate Greenville, where I went 2 weeks ago to consider moving to avoid hurricanes. And the realtor who showed me around got hit by the hurricane. I just couldn't believe it. So anyway, we never know, but we do have to really pay attention to how we are impacting Mother Earth because of the increased intensity of these weather events. So I'm going to jump right in. I don't yet have a music selection, but it will be related to passion. So we will select 3 cards. What do we need to know from Spirit to best navigate this coming week? Card number 1, the Devil, Major Arcana card. Card number 2, the 8 of Pentacles, one of my favorite in this deck. And card number 3, 8 of Wands, reverse. So we've got 2 8 cards, 2 minor arcana. And let's see. For this coming week, card number 15 in the major arcana, the Devil card. Now, a lot of people jump back when they see this card. If it pops up in their reading, they get all concerned. It looks evil, the devil, and so that all the negative connotations associated with the devil. We do see we have this devil here in the center, and it almost looks like a version of the Lover's card, because we've got, instead of the angel, we've got the devil, and then we have Adam and Eve figures, but they are chained to the devil. And then there's fire behind Adam, and he's got the devil horns, and then we've got Eve, who has, what's that behind her? Some type of plant, flower behind her. But they're chained to the devil. But what this can suggest is that what's popping up to me as far as this coming week is that you may have an opportunity to reflect on and to recognize, to acknowledge anything in your life that you may have allowed to limit yourself, to chain yourself. I see the devil as representing the ego, the negative side of the ego, the part of the ego, that part of us that is always doubting ourselves, that is limiting ourselves. That's why the devil's chained. He's chained Adam and Eve, and has his hand up, kind of like the Hierophant benediction, but basically he's stopping you. Feel the devil and the ego mind, which is the ego mind is represented by the devil, in my opinion, is stopping you in your tracks from optimizing yourself, from achieving your potential. So I see this card popping up for this week is saying this week is a time for you to acknowledge and look at squarely in the eye how you have allowed your ego, your limiting thoughts, your negative thoughts to limit yourself in a major way, because it's major arcana. So it's something, and I recognize, in fact, I'm doing a program with a friend, and I'll talk about it later, but it's a particular program. I won't talk about the topic yet, but one of the exercises which is very helpful, is looking at a particular situation in your life that you have been frustrated by or with, and seeing what, instead of blaming external conditions and things in the outer world, how have you, or how have I, part of the exercise, how have I limited myself in this area? What role have I played? And it typically is associated, the role you've played is limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, thinking about constraints or things, blaming certain things. Whereas you have to look at how have you limited, the devil, the ego, mind, limited yourself. And once you recognize that, and you can make a shift and say, okay, what does my future self want to be? So I feel that this week, what's coming up is that you're going to have an opportunity to face this directly. Your limiting beliefs, your negative thoughts, and you have the opportunity now to shift out of them, to make a decision to shift out of them. Now, the next card is the Eight of Pentacles or coins. I love this particular image of the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is, well, the eights are the number of power and strength. And the Pentacles and coins relate to the material realm, resources. And often this image is associated with the idea of just working consistently, of methodically creating something, of being isolated. It's a little bit different from the traditional Rider-Waite card, but we see this workman, or this man who's craftsman, who is in his workshop, so to speak. And we've got the nice cozy fire in the background, but he's isolated from anyone else. He's got his anvil there, I think you call that, and he's been making his coins, his pentacles, but he's isolated, he's secluded, because that allows him to focus. And so I see, thinking about these two cards together, is that once you recognize what's been limiting you, how you've allowed yourself to limit yourself, then you'll be able to get back on focus. Because this Eight of Coins to me is a card of intense focus, and you'll be able to move forward in an area that you are creating something, or moving a particular project, financial endeavor, etc. Something that you want to complete and to create. And then finally, Eight of Wands reversed. Now when upright, we've got two eights here, and the eight again is the number of power. And when this is upright, the Eight of Wands is a situation where there's a lot of frenetic, it almost seems frenetic, because they're on the row, but you get the idea of this fast action, rapid messages coming, this movement forward. And this is one of the cards in the past, when I was first learning the tarot, baffled me, because there was no one in it, there were no individuals, and I thought, what does this really mean? These 5 wands just hurtling through the air. But it does suggest a situation of intense activity and perhaps frenetic activity. And given that it's reversed, what's coming to my mind is that you'll have a lot of inner, maybe turmoil, inner musing, inner ruminations. Your mind's going to be going all over the place, perhaps, as you maybe sort out your limiting thoughts and focus, though, and try to go about completing this particular project. But that's what's coming to mind at the moment. Let me see if there's anything else, because I want to make sure I'm being clear for you. Well, yes, I think that once you recognize your limiting thoughts, what you've been doing, your patterns, and then move forward on that, recognize and try to move out of that, move forward and get toward completion of a project, then there's going to be a lot of new activity that's starting in your mind, internally. It's almost like brainstorming. You're going to start being able to start brainstorming, even though the wands are typically associated with that passion and fire energy as opposed to the swords, which usually are more associated with thoughts. But I do think there's going to be stirring a lot of that fire energy, some new things coming about. And just allow that to happen. And perhaps jot things down to get things down. But there will be, probably, I see this as coming toward the end of the week, that perhaps you finish a particular project and things are going to start stirring for a new project, a new focal point. That's what's coming to me. I think I'm just going to choose one more card for clarity, because that's a little bit confusing. I want to make sure I'm as clear and helpful for you as possible. Wands, get some clarity on this Eight of Wands. Well, we've got the Knight of Wands to clarify. And the Knight of Wands is that core energy, someone it can represent someone. Maybe you'll be associated with someone will come into your life, or that you will start feeling more animated. I think the Knight of Wands is that it's youthful energy, can be a little bit unrestrained, but there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of activity associated with the Knight of Wands. He's got a lot of fire energy. That's asking for clarity in this Knight of Wands coming up, is that out of the desert, out of that arid area, is going to come some fresh energy. And it may not be fully formed and fully in the most organized way, but it is something that you can start moving forward with. That's what's coming to my mind in terms of clarifying what the Eight of Wands. It may be moving from this lot of brainstorming to a singular, because he has a single wand there to decide to go forward. So yes, that's what's coming to my mind, is that perhaps by the end of the week, there's going to be a lot of brainstorming, but then you're going to be able to settle in on something in particular that's important and that is auspicious. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. If you've not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, remember, illumine your mind, inspire your life with Heart-Driven Tarot.